And welcome to Tackle the Board. My name is Chris Exusion. You can find me at Chris Ebom on Twitter, and my co-host Russ Reese, the Vegas line reader. How you doing, man? Another winning week for Tackle the Board.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Felt good last week. Yeah, I was looking back at the past couple of weeks, just giving out the picks for every single game, and they've actually been hitting a pretty high rate lately. So definitely hope we stay hot. Was definitely pissed off this past weekend when I had four big VIP picks, ended up going like 2 and 2. So it's always a weekend where you split and you're just like, all right, let's just hit the next weekend. But one of the plays I had was Northern Illinois for college, and I know you like that game too.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about that earlier, how that game just drove us nuts with the quarterback basically sliding in the second quarter, and they don't even know what happened yet. Have to check out what even his injury is, and thought he was going to come back in the game and ended up just not coming back after halftime, and had a couple touchdown lead, and they just blew the game. It was so rough losing that game.
Yeah, that was a tough one. I talked about how much I love that game. Northern Illinois was the play. Unfortunately, the quarterback, 5-year quarterback, got hurt. They were up 14 going into halftime with their quarterback, and then he decided not to come back in because of that sliding injury. Vandy ends up scoring 21 answered. You just get those bad breaks. We were on the right side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, but that was just one of them, just unfortunate. And then the Notre Dame, they actually didn't start their quarterback, who I thought Buckner was going to start. So that was news to me. I wasn't assuming they were going to take him out because I thought I could have rushed against Cal, but it is what it is. But if you follow me on BetStamp, my whole card's out at Chris Ebom there, and on Twitter, it was still a winning week regardless of the ups and downs. So can't really argue with the winning week. But as far as the big games, talk about my shot over here, the Jets outright. Unbelievable. Not many people thought the Jets were going to win that game, Russ.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, we definitely we had some crazy stuff happen at the end of the game, but hey, that's the NFL, man. Like, you had the Jets winning outright, and then we talked about that Cardinals. I saw you got that ticket in with the Cardinals outright with the over. Hopefully some of the people put that game in too. And it was one of those games where, like I said, the Giants the week before getting killed, but I don't care. The team's just going to come back. And I had a feeling Kyler, they had 7 points. It was 20-something to 7. I just had a feeling that they were coming back in that game. Like, you knew. That's why I love taking Kyler, because all he does is scramble. He runs around. They had him, like, at one point, like, tackled him, like, game over. I'm like, what the hell? He got out of there. I was just like, that game got pretty crazy at the end. And then the Cardinals pick up the 2-point conversion. I'm like, no, don't just cover the spread. I don't need a 2-point conversion.
Dude, it was so funny. So I got a story about that game. So I'm watching the game, and Kyler Murray's just getting sacked. He's not elusive, all this shit. I speak it into the universe, Russ, all right? So I'm on Twitter, and I said, I guess Kyler Murray's not elusive anymore since he's gotten paid. And then all of a sudden I'm getting blown up like eye emojis and all this stuff like, excuse me, because he's running wild and doing all these things. I had to speak it into existence. So I was watching the game, and my wife, my wife Carrie, obviously we're really good friends. So, my wife and everything like that. She's like, are you going to get groceries tonight? And I'm like, well, I'm watching this game. Like, I'm invested in this game. I got to watch this game. And then there's that fourth down play where where Kyle Murray throws a freaking dime, and it hits his hands, and the guy hits him, and the ball's loose. I'm like, all right, whatever. I lost this. So I ended up going to something like, all right, I'll go to the grocery store now because it's over. I don't need to watch this anymore. So I have it on in the car as I'm driving, and all of a sudden I hear on the radio over there, it's like, oh, the ball's loose, and then he's like running in for a touchdown. I was like, oh my gosh! And then I see the video. The guy throws the ball. Like the old Deshaun Jackson where he throws the ball behind him, like before.
Oh yeah, in the end zone.
I was like, oh no, this is gonna get turned away. And then I looked at a slow mo, he crossed, and I was like, oh, thank God.
I actually noticed it live. I'm like, he better have, like, he looked like he had it, so I wasn't too concerned. But I was like, this guy's playing with Deshaun Jackson, and these guys do this all the time. It's pretty nuts.
Because they just think so nonchalantly, and they're just like whatever, and they don't even cross the line. Deshaun did it like multiple times, which is crazy.
Yeah, like, how do you not know you're like running into an end zone? Like, at least be like a couple of yards in before you're throwing the ball. Like, how are you celebrating that quick?
But even just like throwing the ball, like if I was a dude like getting that kind of play, like if I cross that line, I'm like spiking that ball so hard, like excited. Like those guys just like throw it away like it's nothing. I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it was great. But definitely excited for this week. I think we're definitely going to have another great week and hopefully hit on some of our big plays this week.
No, absolutely, man. The last few weeks to tackle the board. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it, whether it's tonight or throughout the week. We've been getting good responses. Glad you guys are taking our winning advice, if you will, because it has been winning advice. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been really good. And whether you wanted to play some games we talked about, I think Russ and I were pretty much on the right side for most of the games. So if you wanted action in the game, you probably won that game most likely. But now we're going to get into a new week. That week's over, Russ. We got to move on.
We got to get into
it's all about now, Russ. Like we won the last few weeks with our cards, but it's like, what are you good for now? This is what we're good for now. Thursday night football. Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland Browns. The Browns are laying 4.5. The over-under us is 38. Where are we going?
Yeah, I actually got the Browns here. Browns are coming off the upset loss last week to the Jets, and crazy stuff happened in that game, so they're going to be pissed off here. This is just a great bounce-back spot for them against the Steelers, whose defense I think is overrated. Looking into the Steelers, they were actually last in rushing yards allowed last season, and they seem to be struggling again. Teams can run on them easily. This is the Browns here, going to be pissed off with Chubb here. I feel like they're going to run all over them. Where the Steelers down is this is a short week for rest. So great spot there. Trubisky, he's also struggling. He can't even get to 17 points right now. This team can't score as well. I feel like he's going to be getting benched possibly after this game. Since it is on a Thursday, I could see next week they making a QB switch here. But I got the Browns here 24-17.
Yeah, well, 24-17, that's going to get the cover for the Browns. I honestly don't like this game. This is one of those poo-poo Thursday night games that, we're more accustomed to. Last week was like a great spot, as you and I were talking like before the show, the little Bezos money. He's like, I got to get a good game for $4 for Amazon Prime. But I'll be honest with you, Russ. If I have to take something here, I got to take the Steelers plus 4.5. It's just a Tomlin rule for me, especially for a team that's not that good. Like, I get it. It's kind of a sucker bet because 4.5 with Pittsburgh on the, just in general with Tom getting 4.5, especially against the Browns in a division game. Like, I don't know. I'm personally not playing it, but if I had a lean, it would be the Steelers. But this is a Cleveland Browns imploded line. So I see where you're coming from here.
Definitely.
All right. Next game we got Kansas City at the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are getting 6.5 points at home. The over-under us, 49.5. Where are we going?
I actually got the over here. Colts coming off a game where they basically got shut out last week versus the Jaguars. Pittman, their best receiver, didn't play in that game and should be back this week. Colts are averaging now 10 points a game, underachieving big time here on offense. This is a team, they basically average 26.5 points per game. Pretty much with the same team. They just changed the quarterback, and both quarterbacks are just average, so there shouldn't be that big of a difference. I see the Colts, though, getting 24 points here easily in this type of game. Chiefs don't really play defense, and the Chiefs' offense look good right now against an average Colts defense. They should be able to put up 30. I checked out I got a stat for you. Mahomes in September, versus any other team than the Chargers, there's been 9 spots where he's faced all other teams. He scored 28 points or more in all 9 of those games. So in September, teams don't play defense. Mahomes puts up big points. He's going to get 30 or more in this game. Take the over here in this game.
Yeah, I pretty much when I looked at this game, I saw over all the way. I like the facts that you're spitting when it came to the Colts here. Most importantly, the Kansas City Chiefs defense has been giving up at least 21 points a game. I mean, that's a lot of points. I mean, the defense obviously isn't that good. This might be a good, and Frank Wright is, believe it or not, a good offensive mind. It hasn't really shown yet. They're getting through his growing pains with Matt Ryan and everything else. As far as this game goes, I like the over as well. I'm right there with you. I would almost lean the plus 6.5 with the Colts here, just based on the fact of how bad they've been playing. I think the Chiefs are due for a letdown spot. This possibly could be it. I think the safer play is the over because I think pretty much they haven't been scoring the Colts. I mean, Pittman should be able to run, and I think Matt Ryan will get into a better groove this week, especially against a defense that's been giving up a decent amount. So I'm right there with you with the over 49.5. Less of a sweat with the Colts getting 6.5. But that AFC South, Russ, is terrible. And let me ask you a quick question about that division. How many wins do you think it's going to take to win that division?
It's funny. I said it in our previous videos. I forget which one it was when the season started. Oh, I think it was when Mitch was talking about, hey, Titans win the division. I said, I don't know, man. Whoever wins this division is going to win 9 wins or more, man. And now I'm thinking
9 wins or more?
No, I'm sorry, 9 wins or less is what I mean.
Okay.
But 9 wins was the high with that anyone's going to take this division at. That's what I was saying. But who knows? Now, looking at the teams now, looks like it may be 8 wins now, and you better start getting scared of those Jaguars.
No, I'm not. That's the thing. See, that's a great you brought that up because they're over under 6.5. They are not winning 7 games, so they are not winning division. So you can take them out of the equation.
All right, we'll see. I don't know.
I think it's gonna be 8 wins that wins this probably. You know what? What's the craziest thing is? With all my bashing I've done of this guy left and right, this defense has been playing pretty decent. The Texans might actually have a shot of winning this division, which is
all right. Settle down over there. Settle down.
Which is a little weird, but I mean, it's pretty wide open. Not gonna lie, Tennessee's kind of like Tennessee's still not out of it, right? I mean, they have weapons. So let's not overreact. You
must really hate the Jaguars if you're starting to tell me the Texans are going to win the division.
I mean, I don't know. It's just tough. I just don't see them.
I know. I think the Colts are going through a rough patch. I think they start slow every single season anyway. So I mean, they'll win ugly. I think they'll get to the 8 or 9 wins. It'll eventually happen. The Colts will get it going. They got the new quarterback, Matt Ryan.
Titans, he's serviceable. So.
Yeah, exactly. So he's serviceable to get the 8 or 9 wins. And they've been playing without Shaq Leonard, their best linebacker on the team. So that's another reason he'll be back probably in the next week or 2. These guys will just get going again and start winning. So it's good that they're facing the Chiefs now and all these powerhouses. Get your losses out of the way now and start hitting your wins later in the season. That's all that matters, you know.
Yeah, but as far as the Chiefs go, as far as over games go, I know they're a team that puts a lot of points, but they've been great on the road. They're 5-0 in their last overs on the road as a road team. So they do travel well scoring points. So that's just a little extra tidbit for that over. So I like that. But the next game, the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders getting 6.5 for us. The over-under is 47. Where are you going here, Russ?
Nice. I'll actually take the under here. Eagles coming off that big Monday Night Football win. Now they have to go on the road here. I see this just being a bad spot for them, and I see them getting off to just a sluggish start, just to start the game. Commanders have faced some weak defenses basically so far in the Lions and the Jaguars. So I see the Commanders struggling on offense too, as the Eagles can match up well with their good cornerbacks on their receivers. The Commanders' run game also has been non-existent so far this season.
Even Gibson's decent too. He hasn't done
that. They're not getting any. I remember the first game they had like 3 yards per carry, but I don't think they did much last week. I'll have to look into that. But I see something like a 24-20 type of game as the Eagles just find a way to win at the end of the game. I think they'll just pull it out at the end. It was funny because when I was doing the notes for this game, I was like, yeah, this jumps out to me. I was like, I'm going to take the under 50 here. And then I looked today to fix our notes, and I'm like, holy crap, it's already down to 47. So that's definitely, I still like it, though. It's showing me that this is definitely the smart play to take the under because it's not like it's dropping because there's like a significant injury. I think it's just like a great spot where somebody messed up. And look at the quarterbacks. I mean, Hurts is great, but this is like a road game and it's a division game. And Wentz, he's been putting up a lot of points lately. Wentz is like on the top 5 in Flacco and like passing yards. It's like the funniest thing if you look. It's
FYI, by the way, in fantasy, I did a show for FanShare on Wednesday night, and it was kind of like a betting DFS show. I said Flacco is the play for quarterback this week. I was like, hear me out. I spilled my case. I was like, this defense is susceptible to the pass. And look at Flacco. He's like slugging around the yard all day.
Definitely, man. Yeah, he definitely hit that long ball what we talked about last week.
I know, dude. We were all over that Jets game. I'm pounding ourselves on the back one more time, man, because
Yeah, man.
nobody was talking about the Jets.
Yeah, because it's gonna be a while till the Jets win again. So we definitely
I know. We got our win. We'll see them in week.
You could tell Saleh in his press conference, like, "Whoa, that felt great." Like he's never won before with the team. Like that's why I don't even trust them this week. Just how proud he was this week, just winning a game. So. We'll definitely.
All right, so this game, I'm going to get into this game.
Which game?
I like the Commanders this week.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Carson Wentz has been serviceable. They were getting blown out by the Lions. He ended up making a comeback that game. I think this is the perfect backdoor situation. I don't think they necessarily win this game, but 6.5. If you can get 7, I think that's a great spot as well. And I think another big part of it is the Eagles' run offense is going to be able to kill a lot of clock. I think they're just going to try and get that run game rolling, get out of Dodge. The rushing defense for the Washington Commanders, 28th in the NFL.
Yes. Yep.
Philadelphia, they're second in rushing, and that's a lot due to Hurts, running the ball and everything like that. But I think clock's going to be moving a lot. I don't think you're going to be seeing a lot of deep throw plays like we saw with the zone there. I think there's going to be a more drag it out kind of game, and I could easily see Wentz having a little chip on his shoulder this week, and he gets bashed left and right. I think he really wants to win it. I mean, I think that this game means a lot to him, and I think this is way too many points. So I actually really love the Commanders this week. I'm probably going to lock this in. If I can get a 7 with them or a 7.5, even 6.5, I might still take it. I think this is going to be a closer game than people think.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was the other thing. I forgot the spread jumped in that. It was at 4, and I'm like, and then once I saw it jump to 6.5, I totally forgot about the spread. So definitely a smart play there. I just kept telling myself, I'm like, do I really want to take Carson Wentz here? I'm like, oh man, this is brutal.
I mean, he's going to make his mistakes and turnovers. That's just part of him, because he's not really that smart of a quarterback. Let's just be real.
Oh, dude, I was excited. I'm sorry, I got to throw it in here from last week, man. I was getting my popcorn ready for the Carson Wentz highlight reel, man. All I saw was the highlights first quarter. Carson Wentz. I'm like I said, the Lions are going to bring that same blitz, man. Knocking, fumble, and touchdown, like safety.
Oh, dude, we're all over that Lions. Like when the Lions are a favorite, you have to take them. I'm sorry, especially with Wentz.
Yeah, especially.
And they got that BS win, right?
Yeah. Man. But it's actually been weird because usually early in the season, these road favorites, they're usually like, you always see them at like 2, 3.5, even if the team's like a step up above the team. But lately, I've just been noticing this season, like I've never seen this high of -6.5s on the road. I've been seeing it a lot. I don't know if there's just a lot more action going on lately with all bad bettors in there taking favorites, because this has never happened with this high of favorites in the week 3 of the season. This usually happens like in the middle weeks of the season where they start raising those road favorites to like 6, 7, 8. Like the Bengals last week, it was just like -7.5, -8. It was just absolutely crazy. It's been kind of crazy with these road high favorites lately, and something's going on. I've seen lines past years. We've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like these are getting a little imploded a couple points higher than they should be. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot more people betting nowadays with all the access to all the states. That kind of moves the lines a lot that way. But anyway, Commanders, Eagles, Washington, Philly, games that are always played in division, So there's a lot of data that goes behind it. The underdog is 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 meetings. The home team is 3-0-1 against the spread in their last 4 meetings. So home dog in this kind of matchup has been cashing, and I just think it's a good spot. Wentz is going to be slinging it. I mean, it doesn't look like it because the defense is just so dominant with all the interceptions and everything. But Russ, like we say time and time again, the lines are dictated from last week, and like anybody else, every week's different in the NFL. Nothing stays the same except for the Bills. They just smash every week, but we'll get into that.
And I want to throw something in with the Eagles too. I mean, there's me and Chris are from the Philly area, so when we turn the radio on, everyone's talking Eagles Super Bowl and everything like that. Now it's getting blown out of proportion right now, just because we beat the Vikings, who don't actually have a good defense. They just looked bad. Or actually, I'm sorry, looked good against the Packers, who were missing a couple of their tackles and everything. It was just a good matchup for the Vikings. But you see the Eagles played a great game, and what they do, they only scored 24 points on offense. So it's not like they scored 30, 40 points in the game. The offense goes wherever Hurts takes them. So I've seen Hurts on the road throw a couple duds up. So this could be one of those dud games after the hyping up of the Monday Night Football. Even if he puts up mid-20s, something like that, I mean, that's how easy the Commanders could cover this game. You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with you. With the Commanders, plus 6.5 is just a lot of points there.
That's a lot of points. And you know me, I don't bet with my heart. I bet with my mind. I'm an Eagles fan, but I just think this is a great spot for the Commanders. But we're going to get to the next game.
Definitely.
The Buffalo Bills at the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are getting 5.5. The over-under, Russ, 54.
It went up to 54, really? Wow. So I like the under in this game. Bills have been rolling on offense the past couple of weeks, but now we've got a division matchup here. Josh Allen in the 2 starts versus the Dolphins last year, he put up 249 and 179 passing yards in those 2 games. And talk about a offense that goes with the quarterback because they don't have a run game. Dolphins are averaging 31 points per game in those 2 games, overachieving big time. This isn't a 30-point type of team. They just hit those big passes late in the game. They weren't scoring early in the game against the Ravens. So overvalued. That's why this line's going up to 54, and because the Bills put up 41 points against the Titans last week. So I definitely see this being an under type of game, and I see this being like a 24-20 type of game. I think this goes under possibly by 10 points here. So I like the under here.
Yeah, I mean, this game's kind of tough for me. I'm not going to lie. I saw this game, and, Dolphins came back. They had that chance to, get the backdoor cover, everything that goes on. Bills look unstoppable. People were laughing when I was saying plus 650 is value with these guys to win the Super Bowl. I wrote about it for Picks Wise. That I felt like that was the best bet for the Super Bowl. And now you're going to give it like plus 300, something crazy now. I mean, that line's not going to change for them. I like your rationale at the under. It's really high, this over-under. Like, this is like big time high. So, I mean, I'm down. You kind of talked me into the under. I'll be honest with you. I think it's only – well, actually, it can't go any higher. Do you think it can go higher than 54? I don't know.
I was in shock when you said 54. It's because the Bills put up 41 and 31. But if you look at the games last year, like it was 35-0. The Bills won the second week of the season against the Dolphins. But Tua, he looked terrible, and then he got knocked out of the game. And I remember Brissett came in, and he was throwing a bunch of picks. And that's what I meant with Allen. He really didn't do anything in the game. They were just getting all these turnovers, and that's how they scored. And then the second game was an ugly game. They won that was late in the season when the Bills were rolling, and they only put up like 26. It was like 26-11 they won. So concerning for the Bills. I mean, I feel like they're the same offense. You know what I mean? They still have a great offense, but it's the same team from last year. It's not any big changes or anything. And the Dolphins, they seem to step up their defense. I mean, they looked bad last week. I don't see them looking terrible 2 weeks in a row. It's always tough when you got to stop a scrambling quarterback, Lamar Jackson, too. I think they shut down the Ravens' run game, too, in that game. So if the Buffalo has no run game here and Josh Allen's got to throw a lot again, I don't see it. There's always like 3 out of 4 games in September will go over because overs always happen. But this is like the division type of game that I just feel like is the under type of game here. And it's not like, and we were talking about this before, with like 2 stud quarterbacks, top 10 quarterbacks. Usually that's when they're set at 50s. We are not considering Tua a top 10 quarterback.
Absolutely not.
It's an average tier. So you're getting an over under at 54 with that average quarterback in there. I would take that under all day. Yeah.
I think you talked me into it, Russ. I think I'm locking that in tonight. I looked at this game and I was like, oh man, I want no parts of this. You talked me that under. I'm not gonna lie. That's a great play. I think that's me good there. Hey guys, remember you can always comment any questions, anything you want. Hey, might as well comment. What do you guys like in the Bills Dolphins game? Because I'm curious what you guys are talking about. So you watching right now, let's get a comment from you guys for Bills Dolphins. I would love to hear about it. But hey, next game, Baltimore Ravens at the New England Patriots. Patriots getting 3 points. The over under us 43.5.
Yeah, I'm usually not a fan of the favored on the road, getting the big percentage of the bets. But this is one game that I could side with. I'll take the Ravens here. Ravens just have that sour taste in their mouth after blowing that lead last week versus the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill just torched them. But the Patriots, they don't have any explosive players like that are going to do anything. Yeah, the only reason the Patriots scored last week was Aguilar caught some crazy catch, and that was for a touchdown. It was just an ugly game Patriots played with the Steelers last week. But I feel like the Ravens will get back to stopping the run. Mac Jones getting the 3rd and longs. I see a couple interceptions in this game. If the Ravens are going to win the division and make the playoffs, which I think they are, we talked about that before. They basically lost to an improved Dolphins team in the AFC East, but now they're facing that 3rd best team in the AFC East, a Patriots team that has regressed this year now. So this is definitely a spot they can't lose 2 of those division teams mid-tiers from the AFC East. They got to win this 24-17 type of game. And I know Lamar I remember they played the Patriots a couple years ago, and I think the Patriots squeaked out a win, but there was a huge storm, bunch of wind blowing in that game, so the Baltimore Ravens really couldn't throw the ball in that game. I remember Lamar Jackson was complaining after the game that the Patriots were lucky that the weather was bad or something. So I think he'll remember playing them again, and he'll probably want this game. So I'll take the Ravens here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I actually like the under a lot in this game, and your 24-17 gets the 41 points. I could definitely see that score like on a tee pretty much. I think that's the perfect kind of score for this game. I'm playing the under on this game. I think Belichick knows what he's getting into when it comes to Lamar Jackson, and we know his offense, like you said, no explosive weapons, right? And you're looking at what New England has done their last couple games. Miami, who went kind of crazy in that Ravens game, only gave up 20 points against Pittsburgh, gave up 14 points. I mean, there's a game plan there for what they have. Like, Belichick only has so much that he can do as a coach. Like, he's a great coach, right? You know, that we all know this, all Super Bowls, Tom Brady, blah, blah, blah. The defenses were great, all this stuff. There's a game plan in this game, and he wants to make sure Lamar Jackson doesn't have that ball in his hands as much as possible. But so that's what I'm kind of thinking over here. And he says, I got a 20-3 kind of feel. I agree. Well, Brent, I think that under is a great play. So I'm glad you feel as well, man. Let's lock that in. Under 43.5.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get in the next game here. Actually, I don't even know Brent, were you talking about the because I bring up the Dolphins game. I don't know if he was saying that or if he was talking about the Ravens.
I missed the comment. I was doing something.
Okay, sorry. So Brent checked in. He said 20-3 kind of feel. I agree. So I don't know if I was saying to bring out some comments about the Bills game. I don't think
probably the Ravens.
I imagine the Ravens game. That's what I think it could be something like that. But yeah, Ravens for sure. Yeah, exactly. So all right, here we go, Russ. This is the real question. All right. My man Mitch coming. Who's the highest scoring team this week? Highest scoring team this week.
Oh, he remembers that Western Kentucky bet from last year, 40 to 46 to 1.
Yeah, we talked about it before. All right, I'm gonna hit up on this first because this is who I think.
And he's talking about NFL, right? Because I know he loves college.
Yeah, well, yeah, Mitch, hit us back up. Is it for NFL or college? I'm assuming it's for NFL since we're talking about NFL right now. But I will jump into NFL. Yeah, Brent. Yeah, he said Ravens for sure. Yeah, so that's good. So I just want to make sure that he was talking about the Ravens. I assume because that'd be an extremely low scoring game for a Bills game regardless. But NFL, yeah. So Mitch wants the NFL highest scoring team.
Well, it looks like 2 more games we got, and I got his little. I'm probably gonna. You agree with me on this one? I think the Vikings are gonna score a lot of points this week.
Yeah, I think they are too. But you know what? I'm going to take something else a little different here. This is who I really think is going to score a lot this week. The Bengals.
No,
the highest scoring
team. First, I scrolled through. I saw Bengals, and then second thought Vikings. Yeah.
Bengals is Mitch, listen to me. My team this week. I'm looking at. Let me go to let's go to the board real quick. All right. I don't know if it's up yet.
And now I'm a little skeptical though because I know they're on the road too, so they're not at home.
That's okay. That's fine. I'm trying to think here. I don't know if that props up yet or anything, Mitch. If you can look.
Yeah, if you can tell us, because the props got to be good because the over-under's at 45, so you'll probably get better value too than my Vikings pick as well.
Absolutely. So Hey, Mitch, if it's on there, tell me what the Bengals are. I'm just not sure where it's at, but we'll just have to see. But he says they have to give Burrow some time. Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I think the offense can start clicking with them a little bit more, with Jamar Chase and everybody else. This is kind of like they've been embarrassed a bunch already. Like they're 0-2, like enough's enough. Like they need to get their act together. I think this is more of like a bang for your buck, if you will.
This was another thing I called before the season started, man. I said the Bengals got lucky last year.
No, 100% you called that.
Yeah, they beat all. Some teams get easy schedules, and that's what happened last year. We see the Raiders this year too, 0-2. These teams made the playoffs last year because they just beat all these crappy quarterbacks. They gave the list of like 7, 8 bad quarterbacks that they had to play, low-tier quarterbacks. Now they're facing real teams, real competition each week. Now these teams are struggling. So that's just how it is.
No, but you know what, Russ? I like that. I'm actually, when those odds do come out, I'm playing the Bengals and I'm playing the Vikings. We're probably going to get great odds with both of them.
Oh, I'd love to see that because I didn't even notice that prop, actually.
There was props with like the lowest scoring team and stuff. I saw that. And that was fantastic. I tweeted that out. And I was like,
really?
There was who
for the season or last week?
What?
For the season or last week?
No, last week. The Colts were like 40-1 or something crazy to be the lowest scoring team. They got shut out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I like that. Yep. Because the Jaguars actually own the Colts lately too.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So there's some good spots, and if, you're feeling froggy, you want to leave. I wouldn't rush when those come in. I'm going to tweet them out, and I'll be sure.
Sounds like a DraftKings kind of thing.
Yeah, DraftKings. Yeah. I know DraftKings definitely.
They're the site that I can't stand. I can't find anything on that site. There's just
so much. But, it is what it is. But hey. Next game, the game that I was just talking about, the Bengals at the Jets. Jets are getting +5. The over/under us 44.5. Where are we going?
Yeah, I like the Bengals here too. They will have revenge on their mind. Actually, remember last year they went up against backup quarterback Mike White, who torched them last year. They've looked terrible on offense. We talked about that, and they're basically the Chiefs of last year. I feel like that everybody was just amping up this team because they brought in offensive line pieces, and then now the quarterback's just playing terrible. But Burrow has not looked good, but this seems like a game because the Jets will be on their high from last week after beating the Browns.
Bad team.
Yeah, I see them have a little letdown, and this is a game where the Bengals definitely need. And then I looked up the next three opponents for the Bengals. They got the Dolphins, the Ravens, and the Seahawks. 3 possible playoff teams who I think all 3 will make the playoffs. So this is a spot they got to have marked on their calendar. We got to win this game. I think it'll be a 28-17 type of game that the Bengals will end up winning.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. They do need to win this game, and that's the scenario. I actually kind of like the over this game. The Bengals, with what they've done of late, let me bring that up real quick. I mean, Dallas scored 20, Pittsburgh scored 23. I mean, these offenses really haven't been able to do much. I think the Bengals are going to score a good amount. I think they can still really cover this game. I think they get around that 30 points that they need to be at. But I think the Jets will score some as well, being that around 17 points. So you're looking at like a 30-17 kind of game. So you're hitting 47 right there. Like I kind of see that. They're not, the Jets aren't going to win here. We called it last week. That was our win. We're going to let that cruise until like week 10. I think like a 30-17 kind of game. I think Bengals take care of business that they should. And let's not overthink it, right, Russ?
Oh, definitely. And you could throw in a little Jamar Chase action there because I feel like the Jets have been giving up that deep ball to the Ravens. Jamar Chase, he'll beat someone deep in this game. So that would be a smart bet if anybody wants to get his receiving yards in, because if he hits one deep pass, he's going to have 70, 80 right there on one play. And I just want to throw in my little Joe Mixon over rushing yards, man. Hit again last week, man. We hit that 17.5, man. So definitely checking out those little hidden gems in there that you can find. And those guys didn't even win the game. So imagine if they actually won the game, they would have been running the ball a lot more there. So we'll definitely move on to the next game, though.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you've been on top of these props, man. Be sure to follow Russ on Vegas Line Reader on Twitter. He's got his plans, everything else. He's been on top of the prop game, man, the last few years or so, man. He's been really finding some good spots. There's so many props out there, and he's going through the entire board. He's tackling that board, and, he's finding good spots, man. And it's been cashing of late. So we got to keep that rolling. But next game, Detroit at Minnesota. Minnesota's laying 6 points. The over-under, Russ, 53.5.
Nice. Yeah, I got the Vikings here. There's going to be overreaction to the Vikings, who only scored 7 points last week. But like I said earlier, it was just a bad spot for them coming into a game where they're facing Philadelphia at home. Crowd was going nuts, and they were coming off a win against a division rival against the Packers. So Vikings offense basically was forced to pass because they couldn't even get a run game going at all against the Eagles. That is not Cousins' game right there. Dalvin Cook only had 6 carries in that game. So I checked out, here's a little thing here. I checked out Dalvin Cook when he had 10 rushes or less last year. All 3 times that occurred, they all lost the games, obviously. But the next game where he had 10 rushes or less, they won every single game by 6 points or more. So they know, kind of like getting the quarterback struggling, get the running game going again the next week. And do we really trust the Lions defense, who were actually home the first 2 games, and now this will be their first road game? And I remember last year the Lions offense wasn't scoring points with Goff on the road, basically. So I think they'll struggle a little bit on the road, might get a couple turnovers. But I definitely see the Vikings offense getting going. They only put up to 23 and then 7 the first 2 weeks. So I can see them hitting that 31 mark here. So I see like a 31-23 type of game. I think the Vikings just win by that 7 or 8 points. Lions probably get the ball at the end or something, but the Vikings hold off the spread by the 7 or 8 points.
Yeah, I love the Vikings here. It's funny, on Twitter, I have a lot of Vikings people on there, and they're all like, I don't know, man. Like, they look really bad. And like, it's just so funny because, like, last week they were like the darling, now they suck. And it's like, the team is good. Like, that Detroit team, like, literally gives up points left and right. The only thing I'd be kind of concerned about is that Cousins looked terrible under the blitz. He got blitzed a lot last week, or was it last night against Philly, and he was throwing picks because of that. But I think it was just, like you said, a bad spot for them, laying 6. Now Detroit's getting all the money on their side after winning.
I knew once I saw this jumped out at 7 too. I was just like, everyone's going to bet the Lions here, man. You just wait. Wait, because it's going to go lower. It's going to go lower. Yeah, I think I saw 5.5 too. I think it's gotten down to 5.5 too on some books too.
I'll be honest, it's going to keep going because there's going to be so much Lions money that's going to come in. And it's going to be crazy. And it's because, like, Russ, you got to pick your spots. Like the Lions were like a favorite for the first time since, like, I don't know, 2020 or something at home. Like, and then Washington won that game, a close game, which they probably could have most likely lost against the Jags. But I mean, they came back in that game. I mean, you got to pick your spots. Like, the Vikings are probably not going to play that bad this week, especially at home. It's just, I mean, it's a wake-up call. It's a short week. I get it. But you know what? I love the Vikings here -6. I'm taking them for Survivor. A lot of people think I'm crazy. I don't think it's that crazy. I'm more than happy to take the Vikings here.
Yeah, it's a smart pick, actually, for Survivor, because I wouldn't trust the Vikings any other time.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you want to take, I don't know, like, when I think about Survivor, you want to take teams that you're, like, buying low on. Like, if they look bad the week before and then, like, they're facing an inferior opponent the next week and everyone loves that inferior opponent the week before, like, take that team that's supposed to be the team that's supposed to win. Like,
a double-digit team, someone always just says, "Oh, I'll take the double-digit favorite," but that team has no motivation. You see the top-tier team always lose once to a bottom-tier team. So I was checking something out.
Please tell me, because that was pretty good.
No, I just kind of had a little secret. Like, I've noticed, like, the low-tier team always wins like one time against a top-tier team for the whole season. So I was checking out the Bears. They beat a top-tier team in the 49ers week 1. So I don't see them winning any more top-tier games. Just like, I mean, it's my opinion. I have the Broncos in my top 10 tier. But someone like the Seahawks beat them. Yeah, exactly. No, you don't like them. But the Seahawks beat a top-tier team in the Broncos. I don't see them beating a top 10 team again. So that's why I'll look ahead to the look to the ahead weeks.
Especially for Survivor.
Yeah, exactly. For Seahawks facing anyone that's a top tier team at home, like you plug in the Rams there. Rams aren't losing at home to the Seahawks, so that's your definite plug-in. But we could probably do a whole show on this, so I'll probably just keep going anyway.
Right.
So we'll jump.
Sounds good. We'll get into the next game. So we got the Saints at the Panthers. Panthers are 2.5-point favorites. The over/under, Russ, 40.5.
Saints at Panthers. I'm trying to find my notes for that one. I'm not sure. Did we do the Titans game? I think the Titans.
Oh, no, I apologize. Sorry. We'll go right back to that. Raiders at Titans. Titans are getting 2 points. The over/under, Russ, 45.5. Let's do that first.
So, yeah, I got the Raiders here. Titans are a team or just overachieved from last year just because they won 12 games last year. People thought they were going to be good this year again, but I knew that they're going to be garbage. And I basically knew they were garbage. We called that body bag game last week. Freaking Bills torched them 41-7. Tannehill, I thought he left in a body bag, man.
Dude,
but
that was a body bag game. I was completely wrong on that. You got the better of me that round. You got the better of me that round.
We're on the same team on this. We're not opposite, man. We can win the body bags, man, together, man.
I hear it. We're building body bags.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Trust me, I was pissed when I saw your Broncos body bag. I'm like, I had the Broncos last week. I liked them. I'm like, what the hell was going on? I got 16 points or something.
Dude, that was embarrassing.
Yeah, I got to look back at that game. What the hell happened there? So, well, not bringing any negativity back in. We'll stay positive. Keep on rolling here. But again, both of these teams, they're both 0-2. So what team do you think is going to end up 0-3 here? And I just feel like it's got to be the Titans here. I feel like they're the team that's cursed. They lost their best defensive player. They got rid of A.J. Brown. I feel like bad things are just going to keep happening to this team. And the Raiders, they still have nothing's going wrong, really. They still have their great playmakers, Devontae Adams and everything. And they still have, I don't know what's up with Renfro. He got hurt last week, but I'm sure he's fine. But just the Titans are so bad that these teams, all they got to do is stack the box because they don't have any wide receiver playmakers. So this team just can't move the ball at all. I think the Raiders, it'll end up winning a close game, though, because they choked away the game last week. So I feel like it's just one of those games that they're going to finish the game off right, win like 27-21 this game.
Yeah, I mean, the main story today is is supposed to be defensive mastermind. The defense absolutely fucking sucks. Points have been scored left and right. They're 30th in the NFL in defensive points allowed. Points allowed by a defense, averaging 31 points. I get it. They got blown out in that Bills game. That got kind of out of hand. But they gave up 21 points to the Giants, who really have not much offense there besides Saquon Barkley. I mean, this is a really bad spot. I mean, the Raiders can score here. There's too many weapons. I'm right there with you. We're not overthinking it. We're just going to take the Raiders -2. I know it's cross country. Really don't care. The rails, the wheels are off the bus for us, with this Titans team. And is it Malik Willis time? I don't know. Probably not yet because he's going to be put out in a body bag if he's going to play like sooner than later. But I'm right there with you. Keep it simple. Raiders -2.
Definitely.
Next game, finally, I'm getting to it now. Saints at Panthers. Panthers getting 2.5. The over/under us 40.5. Where we going?
Where are we going? Yeah, that's the thing. I was trying to find my my Saints game, and I think
I jumped the game. I jumped the game. It happens. You watch the show. It happens with me.
I think it just randomly just vanished from my page or something. I'm just like, okay.
I just looked over that because it was too easy with the Raiders.
Man, I got all these notes, man, and now I'm just gonna have to wing it on this Saints game. So. Saints, I'd like the Saints in this spot. Last week against the Bucs, I mean, Saints were actually one of my big plays that ended up losing last week, but I've never seen a game. Brady is throwing his freaking iPad, dude. I'm going to break it. That's how frustrated he is. And I literally leave the house for 5 minutes and come back and I'm like, the Bucs are winning. I'm like, what is going on? Because Winston just played terrible, throwing terrible picks. I'm not concerned now against the Panthers. Panthers average team with an average to below quarterback with Baker. Yeah, I do not trust them at all. And then I remember last year, it was just a great spot for the Panthers. So everyone's going to see this last year that the Panthers won in week 2 or week 3, I think it was. Panthers won outright. We actually liked that game. We ended up hitting that game because the Saints had that big win against the Packers. Yep, exactly. So everyone's going to look back and see that. But the Saints are an improved team. They just played bad last week, threw interceptions against a Bucs team that'll make
Bucs defense that's nasty.
Yeah, the Bucs defense is just nasty. That's why everyone said the Cowboys suck. What did the Cowboys do next week? They just won last week. So Saints look like they suck last week. And the Saints are actually, they're going to 1-1. It's all division games so far. So I don't see them starting 1-2 in the division. I feel like they're the better team against the Panthers. This is like the flip-flop. We see the Dolphins against Patriots. Remember week 1? Dolphins improved. Patriots are worse now. Dolphins are going to win that game. So that's what I feel with the Saints. Saints are much better. They're on another class than the Panthers. Panthers don't have any real playmakers. I mean, they got the McCaffreys and everything, but these guys with Baker, they're not a winning football team. They'll win 6-7 games. They're not a special team at all. Saints are a very solid squad. They have the great defense they always have, and they played without Kamara last week in that game too. I got to check to see if Kamara's playing this week. If he is playing, this is a definite win, I feel, for the Saints here. So I'll take the Saints here all day.
Yeah, so the Panthers at this point with Matt Rule, what I've been hearing around the rumor mill for the most part, he does not win this game, he's gone. I think it's probably going to happen. He's probably going to get fired. And you know what's crazy? The owner for the Panthers is like one of the richest guys in the NFL. He has a 7-year, $62 million deal, which is like really crazy that like can a guy that quick. But then pretty much it's out there. I guess he doesn't care about the money. I mean, Matt Rule is on the hottest seat of hot seats, and it's like, hey, speaking of, I'm going to flip with the college over here since I'm going to like toot my horn with the college game. Your boy Herm Edwards got the can last week.
It's just so funny that's the first thing that literally popped in my head. I was like, maybe I'll wait till later. And I was just like, I had the Herm Edwards exactly in my head just now. I'm like, what happened? He got fired on the field or something?
Dude, no. So, all right. So this is what happened. I got really in tune with this because I love seeing ASU demise constantly. So I love it. So he starts walking. The AD's there. There's another guy there. And they're like, oh, Herm, come on over. You know, like, and he's like, oh, yeah, how you doing? And he's like, shaking hands and everything. And he's like talking. He's like, yeah, my guys didn't really get up for this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's probably time. He's like, yeah, it's okay. Like, I get it. You know, like, no hard feelings. Like, it's over. You know, like, he tried to be dirty with his recruiting. It didn't quite work out, and the team stunk and they lost a lot of recruits and things like that. But anyway, I just want to talk about the Sun Devils stuff for a second. But anyway, so I think this is going to be I think Matt Rule's going to get canned next week. I think this is it here for him. Baker Mayfield's not going to win this game for him. He just doesn't have the talent. Simply, I mean, I thought maybe he had a little more fight in him in that Giants game. Clearly he didn't. I think that's a huge red flag. Saints had a really hard time against that Tampa Bay defense. I think we actually get value with the Saints here. Some lines are there at -3. If you can get below -3, I love the Saints here. No problem. Matt Rule's going to pack his bags and take home that $62 million he's supposed to make without not working.
I would say, if you guys get any 2s or 2.5s, grab it now because
it's going to only go up from here because everyone's been the Saints. But I'm right there with them. 2.5. I'm all aboard with it. So I'm right there with it. Next game. Talk about two clunkers here. The Texans at the Bears. Bears are laying 3 points. The over-under is 40.5 for us. Where are we going?
I actually like the over here, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. This might be an alternative over here, y'all.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So we got the Texans defense. They looked impressive on paper, only giving up 20 points to the Colts, 16 points to the Broncos. But I looked into it. They've actually given up the second most defensive yards in the whole NFL. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. No, the Texans. They only given up 18 points per game, but they've given up the second most.
Don't break, Russ.
Yeah. So that's just good teams just basically just playing terrible against them. Yeah. So I also just don't trust this team coming off 2 good performances. And we see a bad team that actually covered the spread 2 games in a row now. Then we got the Bears, who had a low-scoring game week 1 just because they faced the Niners in a storm. And then last week they faced the Packers, who were just pissed off coming off a bad loss. Packers have a good defense, too. So facing a Texans defense, I feel like this should be a breeze for the Bears.
All right.
So this these are two quarterbacks that'll struggle against good teams, but facing off, both of these teams have bad defenses, man. So this has got to be a spot where I could just see both of these quarterbacks scoring in the 20s. I feel like it's going to be a 24-23 type of game.
Yeah, just enough.
Exactly. So I just feel like this over is easy, Chris.
All right. I see. You know what? It was that same kind of feel I had last week. The 49ers, that game should have went over. It was crazy. They almost scored 30 points. Like it was. And then, of course, Trey Lance gets hers. I'll tell you what, Russ, this week was like the week of my quarterbacks getting hurt all week. Like I could not catch a break with some of these starting quarterbacks getting hurt. But hey, guys, once again, if you're watching, we appreciate it. Comment. I want to know from you guys, who's going to win this Texans-Bears game? Because I think it's pretty wild. This is kind of a weird kind of game. I like where Russ is going because this is a really low over-under. There could be a lot of sloppiness that goes on here with field position, everything else. Russ, I think Texans win outright this game. I really do. And hear me out here because this Texans team, you know how much I hate Lovie Smith. All right. And I get it. You know, I might be eating my own words because they covered the last two games.
I know you're eating your own words. I'm waiting.
Oh, wait, hold on for a second. My boy Mitch is checking it. You got to
say what's Chris
on my fantasy team. Oh,
yeah, I hope he's on his bench, not starting.
Yeah, you better have to start his ass. But
you better have Herbert starting or something.
My man Brett checking. He goes Bears 100%. I don't feel.
Yes, there we go. Brett knows what's going on.
I really don't
Dude,
feel.
You're going against your own thought. Listen,
I don't think it looks that easy.
Listen, even a terrible team covered 2 straight games. You know this, man.
I know, I do. I know.
But this is what happens. You go. I love when you go. I might take this as a big play with the Bears because you're going against your whole. Whenever you do this, I remember who was the old Chargers coach that was terrible? I got
Lynn. He's
Lynn. Yes, I remember you saying, "I'm never taking Lynn." Then one week you're like, "Lynn's been looking good." I'm like, "Hold on a second, what the hell's going on here?"
You might be right, Ron. Oh man, unbelievable. All right. Well, you know, I'm staying away. Obviously, I'm disheveled. I'm all over the place in this game.
That's all right. This isn't going to be a big play for me. The toilet.
It might be now because I'm throwing this stuff at you. It might be like a top tier VIP play.
Well, the Bears did get ripped off last week.
I'm going to watch this game really closely on Sunday.
Yeah, the Bears had a touchdown at the end, or they were making it closer to a touchdown, but they couldn't see the ball cross the plane. It was one of those instant replays where they could have cut it to, I think, like a touchdown, but they couldn't see the ball over the plane, so they're like, "Oh, we can't overturn this." So the Bears didn't play too bad on offense last week against. And look at the competition they faced, the 49ers and the Packers. Right. Those are 2 good teams. So, again, these teams don't know each other. That's why also it's non-conference. That's why I would side just with this over.
Okay.
We might have a Chicago fan in here, man.
Hey, by the way, for the record, Chicago is probably my favorite city. I absolutely love Chicago. I've been there a couple times during the summer. Went to a couple Cubs games, Wrigleyville. Great city, great people. Midwest people are awesome, by the way. We deal with some rough people on the East Coast, but great sports city. I haven't been there during the winter because I won't go there because it's probably like ridiculous. By the way, Russ, next week, I will be making a trip to the Midwest.
Oh, where?
I will be in Minneapolis next week.
Nice.
I'm going to play a little golf out there. Going to be eating good, drinking good.
Taking the Vikings.
I never been to Minneapolis. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
The Vikings most points scored. You're going to get that.
Oh, next week. Yeah. Well, this week. Actually, I'm going to play it this week as well because I like where you're coming from there. But anyway, I think my man is from Chicago, which is all good because I love Chicago. But anyway, next game, Russ's Jacksonville Jaguars at the LA Chargers. Chargers laying 7. The over-under, Russ, 48. Where are we going?
Yeah, that's why I was pissed. I was showing everybody all my I was like, yeah, I've been doing really well, showing all the wins the past couple of weeks. And then that was the one game where I gave on the show and I didn't know Pitt. Like, we do this on Tuesdays, guys. So when I saw
early. These are early leans.
So guys, if you guys see any major injuries, don't listen to what we're saying on the show because I said I said the Colts last week against the Jaguars, but once I saw Pittman was hurt, there was no way I'm putting any money on the Colts in that game with their best receiver missing. So This game, two teams that I do like, Chris. I like the Chargers too. So
yeah, of course. Who doesn't like Herbert, man? Herbert's the man, dude.
Definitely, of course. But I feel like he's going to play. I got the Chargers here. The spread was dropping, but I feel like it's more so with the offensive lineman. I saw a couple of those guys got hurt last week in that game, and we still don't know what's going on with Keenan Allen. But I feel like this is just going to come down to the Chargers' great defense. So, I mean, the Jaguars are coming off that big 24-0 blowout win, shutting out the Colts. That was pretty crazy. So, Jaguars faced a couple average defenses in the Colts, and that was without Shaq Leonard at linebacker, and they beat the Commanders. So I just feel like this is a step up in class facing one of the top pass rushers in the Los Angeles Chargers. We saw how they had Mahomes on his heels last week. Just imagine what they're going to do to Lawrence in this game. I'm going to see 30-17 type of game here. I think they win this game by double digits.
Yeah, so Herbert got banged up last week, all right? So he had like the rib problem. For something that happens with him, obviously, is a stay-away game for the most part. But if we know he's healthy, let's just assume he's healthy, ready to go. The guy is an absolute monster. I mean, the Jags have been hanging around a lot. This looks really too easy to take Jacksonville here. If Herbert's ready and he's ready to go, feeling good, I think even a banked-up Herbert that plays, I think slings it around the yard here for the most part. I'm right there with you. I'm taking the Chargers. You know me, the Jags I'm not big on this year. Jags are 0-5 in their last games on the road against the spread, 0-5. So they haven't been that good on the road covering games for the most part. So I'm right there as well. And then on top of it, the Jags are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games, falling against the spread wins. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going against him. Dougie P's got his hands full this week. This quarterback's fucking awesome. If he's ready to roll, you don't even see that. See, like when I'm looking at having a quarterback, like Herbert is that guy. Like he throws that ball, you don't even see it. It just hits the guy's chest. It's absolutely incredible.
Oh, yeah.
You want that kind of arm power. Dude's a man. I totally did not see that coming out of Oregon. But, guys work on their craft to get better and everything like that. Bottom line, Chargers -7. We're rolling with it.
Yeah, and I would actually be more confident, too, if you guys look at taking the Jaguars under their team total points, because they've been putting up pretty good amount of points the first couple games. But facing this Chargers defense is legit, man. They got J.C. Jackson back. He just came back, the cornerback from the Patriots last week. They literally shut down Mahomes. Like, what was it, 27-24 the final? They really only scored 20 points on offense. They got that pick 6. So if you shut down the Chiefs with Mahomes, man, that's pretty impressive. And I just feel like they're home. I feel like this is a game with the Jaguars. They're going to struggle. Lawrence is going to throw some picks. So I think they're scoring 17 points. This over-under is pretty high. It's at 48 right now. Yeah. So the Jaguars over-under is going to be pretty high than I think it should be. What do we think? 27-20. So 27.5, 21.5. So it would be 21.5 around, like, for the unders. 21.5 for the Jags. Take that under for sure, man. There's no way they're scoring that many points against the Chargers on the road here.
No, definitely not. And I honestly, if you're looking for a prop as well, I kind of like a Herbert over on whatever passing yards he's doing for the because Jacksonville's run defense has been one of the best in the league this year. I may have a hard time running the ball, so you're going to see a lot of Herbert throwing. So, attempts, passing yards, any of that, I'm all for. I'm probably going to hit his over on his attempts probably because I think they're just going to be like, that's enough. We're just going to have to throw it. So that might be something to kind of look at. But the next game, Green Bay at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is laying 2 points. The over-under us, 42. Here we go.
Oof. All right. I got the under here. I couldn't believe the first thing that just stood out to me when I saw this game was 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and the over-under's at 41 points. Like what in the era where all you do is throw the ball? It's just crazy to me. But that's what I like to see. I love that fishy stuff. I'm taking the under here. I mean, it all adds up here. We got the Bucs. They're going to be without Mike Evans in this game. And I told you against the Saints last week, I mean, these guys could not do anything. And the only time they did catch the ball is when they just found ways for Mike Evans to just like find openings any way they could. He couldn't complete any passes to anyone else in that game. It was bad. And then the Packers offense will only put up points if they have a running game. But I don't know if they're going to play that well with the running game here. They took advantage of the Bears. Yeah. The Bears don't have a rushing defense last week, but facing the Bucs, and this is actually the Bucs home opener. So the Bucs defensives look good. I just see like 2017, one of these quarterbacks comes out on top, and probably we're going to see both quarterbacks cursing out a lot of players on this game.
Oh, for sure.
To see this.
It's gonna be great entertainment, that's for sure. Yep. I mean, honestly, Russ, I love the under. I'm right there with you. I'm kind of leaning towards Green Bay winning this game outright. I think this is kind of the spot where we're starting to see like the gas running out on this offensive line. I think this is just. I think Aaron Rodgers knows this is a great spot to win this game against a Tom Brady team that's kind of on, the fence a little bit. Like, this is a great spot. And if you look at what they've done, I remember there was a game, let me bring it up, because there was a game that they had, I think it was in Tampa Bay. I think they got like blown out or something. Let me see. Yeah. So in 2020, Tampa Bay won 38-10. It was like Tampa Bay's been just housing these guys.
I remember that game. It was perfect because everybody thought the Bucs sucked in the beginning of the season. We're just getting. I was like, nobody knows the Bucs are great. They're getting +1 against the Packers, and everybody the Packers love. And Green Bay went up 7-0. Aaron Rodgers is doing his fucking belt, dude, going nuts. He didn't score the rest of the game or something. It was just like total domination.
No, absolutely. I actually kind of like Green Bay this game as a live dog.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm playing Green Bay as a live dog, but I like that under. Maybe you play Green Bay and the under, a little parlay action with the money line. They're only getting +110. I mean, geez, it's like crazy, So, but anyway, next game, the Rams at the Cardinals. Cardinals game +3.5. The over/under was 48.5.
Yeah, I got the Rams here. Cardinals have faced the Raiders and the Chiefs so far this season, and those are teams that just don't really play defense at all. So this will be the first game versus a top 10 defense in the Rams, who just own Kyler Murray, as he's basically having nightmares from last year in that wild card game. He's still running away from the Rams right now, man. Murray's actually 1-5 straight up in the 6 meetings versus the Rams, losing every single game by 7 points or more. I'll take the Rams here 30-20. And I remember I told everyone last week, Kyler Murray, he's great as a dog. He covers so many. He was 16-8 or something. But all those underdog games that he wasn't covering were all versus the Rams. So I just feel like he's great as a dog, but the Rams just own him, man. So I like the Rams here.
Yeah, I like the Rams here too. I think kind of you ran out of gas finally with Kyler Murray. He gave it his all, and he got that win. This defense is good for the Rams, and I just think this is going to be too much. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is that good. The defense sucks. I think it's a great spot for the Rams. I'm not overthinking it. The over 3.5 is good. And I think the fact that it's at 48.5, the over-under, I think the Cardinals are going to have a really hard time scoring here. So maybe if you're feeling froggy, you want to leave, take that team total under on the Cardinals. That's kind of where I'm looking, because they went bonkers last week. Team props, their over/under is 22.5.
No way.
I think it's going under.
Yeah, no way, man. That's a good bet right
there. And you get
-105.
You're getting a little juice on your side.
They still don't have Hopkins. They're not the type of team that's going to put up the 30 points. They're not going to put up the high scoring. And they put up 21 against the Chiefs. And what did they squeaked by with the defensive touchdown last week against the Raiders? They would have had low 20s again.
I got some bets. I got some bets to lock in this week, Russ. I'm excited. So let's get into the next game. Falcons at Seahawks. Talk about two duds. The Seahawks are laying 2 points. The over/under us 42.
Yeah, I got the Seahawks here. Tough spot last week. We all knew the Seahawks won their Super Bowl week 1, and then week 2 they had to go face on the road at the 49ers. I just knew that was a bad spot for them.
Right.
Mariota has looked good the past 2 weeks. They were home week 1 against the Saints, and then last week they're on the road versus the Rams, but the Rams don't really have a crowd. No one shows up for those games. So I just feel like this will be the first 12th man for the defense here with the Seahawks with that home crowd. I just feel like it's going to be really loud there. Mariota's not going to be able to handle that. Seahawks, and the Seahawks run game, they didn't do anything last week just because they faced the 49ers, but Pete Carroll, he's just a better coach, and he loves to run the ball. I feel like Penny's going to get going again. I like the weapons that they have with Penny and Metcalf and everyone. I saw Metcalf had an injury. I got to check in on that. So if Metcalf is fine, I'm liking the Seahawks in this game. The Falcons are supposed to be the worst team in the NFL. They're just jumping on top of teams because Mariota's using his legs and running around. But I just feel like this road type of game, this is their first true road game with the loud crowd. I think Mariota, he's going to struggle in this game. So 23-17, give me the Seahawks.
Dude, Russ never bets against the Rams, dude. That's just, never like bet against bad teams. They're good teams.
Hey, I took them in the Super Bowl too.
All right, we got an update here. Bengals 16-1 and Vikings 6.5-1 for high scoring.
Yeah, I knew you were going to get that. That's some good value on the Bengals, though. 16-1.
I'm playing both of those. Mark my words.
Mitch is throwing cash around, man. He's got both in locked in right now, man.
Dude, I'm locking them in. Thank you, Mitch. I just need the odds. That's all I need to see. I'm sold.
I need Mitch to tell me what the Bears are at. That's what I want to know.
Oh, God almighty. I don't want to know what the Bears are at.
Dude, the Texans, they're giving up a ton of yards, and they're only giving up, 17?
Gosh, are you talking me to a Bears?
Due for a 30, man.
Dude, probably like 50-1 or 40.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be 50 or 80-1, maybe.
All right. So Seahawks. I'm right there with you. Geno Smith, very serviceable. Falcons, not a lot there for the most part. I'm right there with you. Keep it short and sweet. Seattle at home, they pump all that noise in. That's how they do. They don't get that real noise going on there for the most part. So I'm right there with you. Seahawks, Geno Smith, Penny. Everything's going to work out. DK Metcalf. They're going to win this game. No problem. Seahawks. Sunday night, 49ers at Denver Broncos. Broncos are +1.5. The over-under us is 45. Before 70-1.
Oh, yeah.
70-1 for your
I'll be right back. I got to get that bet
in.
in. Hold on. I'll be back.
Yeah, I call my bookie. All right, so Denver's saying 1.5. The over-under is 45. Russ, where are we going?
Yeah, I got the Broncos here, but I'm treading lightly. I got to check to make sure what's going on with Jerry Jeudy. If he is playing in this game, I got the Broncos here, and I know that.
I don't know if he's playing. I don't think he is.
Yeah, if he's not, then I'm off of it. So I got to look into this game, but I'm just going to go with the flow here. If he is playing, I just feel like this is a game everyone's taking the 49ers now. This will be a game where, everyone's taking them, and they got the offensive weapons. I just feel like the Broncos have the team, but they're just not putting it together. The first 2 weeks they struggled, but I just feel like they're getting in their own way. They're moving the ball. They just can't score touchdowns, and it's pretty crazy. I mean, this reminds me of how the Bucs just looked terrible the first year with Tom Brady when they first started the season, but I'm holding on to this Broncos team. I just feel like they're good. They're going to be a top 10 team.
Hold on tight, brother.
Oh, I know, man. But I feel like they got this game. But if it is something where Jerry Jeudy's down, then I feel like then the negativity's coming into play, like the Ravens of last year, how I like the Ravens, but all those injuries started happening. So if this is something where Jerry Jeudy's down, then I'm off the Broncos. But if Jerry Jeudy is in, I would love the Broncos in this game. So we will see.
Russ, I want 0 parts of this game. I have no lean to this game. You know me, I'm not big on the Broncos this year now. Fortnite's got Jimmy G, who pretty much can't run an offense for the most part. I mean, he's lucky if the run game's good for him. I'll lean the under 45, but besides that, I'm going to be just a spectator at this game. I have no parts at this game. So Monday Night Football, Dallas Cowboys and New York Giants, NFC battle. The Giants are laying 2.5 points. The over-under, Russ, 39.5.
Yeah, I got the Giants here. Cowboys coming off that big win last week against the Bengals, so nobody thought they were going to win at all. I mean, you did say that you liked the Cowboys when we were messing around saying, yeah, Cowboys can win this game, or
yeah, that line. I like the line for the Cowboys. I think they're going to win outright, but I thought that was a little disrespectful, those points. And obviously I was right, but I wish I wasn't.
That was crazy to have them -8 on the road. We knew the Bengals are garbage. They can't be covering big spreads like that.
Not that game.
Yeah, but so I'm not trusting Rush here to win 2 straight games. This isn't the team of last year that had a special season. This team is still has some issues all around. I stated last week, I remember talking.
I know you said.
Yeah, last week I said there's always that one bad team, though, that always goes 3-0. I said it's going to be the Commodores, Commanders, whatever you want to call them. It's going to be them or the Giants. And, of course, we knew it wasn't going to be the Commanders. So it's definitely going to be the Giants. So Definitely feel like it's going to be an ugly game. I could see it being like a 17-14 type of game just because the Cowboys can't score. But I think Barkley will do enough with the run game to get them some points in this game. Monday Night Football, right? So I feel like the Giants are just going to want this game bad. I'll take the Giants here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. I can't believe I'm eating my own words, but I think they're going to go 3-0 this week. It's crazy. You're right. I can't believe it. But, I mean.
It's all the easy scheduling. That's just how it works.
Yeah, it's just easy scheduling. I'm right there with you. I love the Giants this week. Yeah, primetime Danny Dimes. I'll tell you what, Danny Dimes is going to – this might be – I play Trevor Lawrence every week. This might be a Danny Dimes kind of 2 rushing touchdowns.
It was just funny because I was just about to laugh at Chris. I'm like, all right, calm down. Primetime Danny Dimes. I was like, holy shit.
That wasn't me. That was my man Brent. But no, I love the Giants here. I think it's a great spot. Cooper Rush, you think he's going to win twice, especially on the road here. Not happening. Giants go 3-0. Shockingly enough, except for you. You're the only one. Besides that, they're going 3-0. New York faithful is going to be very happy. I'm playing the 2 rushing touchdowns for Danny Dimes because this game can get real weird real fast. And I'm playing it. Screw it. I play Lawrence every week. I'm playing Danny Dimes 2 rushing touchdowns this week.
I'm sure you'll definitely get some good value on that bad boy.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's not up. I don't think it's up yet because I was looking for Trevor Lawrence while you were talking about the games. Yeah, it's not up there yet. But that'll be brewing later.
Yeah, everything comes up on like Friday or something. They put
something. It takes a little too long for my liking. But
I know it sucks. I know.
But that'll do it for the NFL card.
Mm-hmm.
We have some college football plays. We have a couple college football plays.
Yeah, we got your first game we'll jump into. You got a little Texas at Texas Tech game. You're liking the over-unders at 60 right now.
Yep.
What side do you like?
I love the under. Shockingly enough, these teams, this is a Big 12 rivalry. Texas Tech has been playing really well of late. Texas been playing pretty good. They held Alabama to 20 points, which is a big feat here at the end of the day. This rivalry in itself, in the last 4 games played, has been averaging 93 points between both teams. That's a lot of points they've been averaging. And this is one of the lowest over-unders that I've seen for this in the last 4 years at 60. It's a pretty interesting total, I'm not going to lie. But when both these teams this year played in ranked games this year, both teams have played in lower scoring games. The average total points in those games for both teams for combined, like with their opponent and them in general, has been 47 points. Both defenses have been showing up in these higher level matchups, and the offenses haven't been explosive. But the Raiders defense, not the Raiders, but the Red Raiders, if you will. They're the Red Raiders, Texas Tech. They're in the top 30 in total yards allowed this year on defense. So their defense has shown pretty well. And the Longhorns defense hasn't given up more than 20 points this year. So this week they're on the road. This Texas game has gone under the total in the last 4 road games against a team with a winning record. So the Longhorns on the road have been going under against winning teams. Texas Tech 2-1. They're traveling there. This looks way too easy to bet the over. I'm not falling for it. When I tell you I'm not falling for it, we usually hit this bet. I love the under. Give me the under, Russ, 60, because this is going to be a harder fought game than people think.
Nice.
So we're going to get into your next game. What do we got? We got Alabama and Vanderbilt, Russ. Oh
yeah, man. Body bag game of the week, man. All right. This is a real body bag game, right? We hit the Bills last week. All right. We're going to be hitting Bama here. Stating the obvious, everyone knows it's going to be a blowout. Obviously, the spread is at 40.5, but we only get the body bags when we think the team's going to cover the spread. All right. So we got them covering this game. We got Vanderbilt. They've already won. They've been projected to win 2.5 games. They've already have won 3 games. So talk about overachieving so far, beating some terrible teams like Hawaii. They put up like 63 points or something. That team's irrelevant. This team's at plus 47 ATS points right now against the spread points. They're way overachieving right now. Yeah. So when you got something like that, this terrible team's overachieving, then you finally face basically the second best team in the country. It's a terrible spot. You're like, this is going to be a total bloodbath here, Chris. If you remember, Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. It was like back in 2017. I remember Vanderbilt. They started 3-0, and they were like, "Yeah, bring on Alabama." That next week, they're like, "Oh, okay."
Sure, okay.
Alabama smoked them 59-0 that game. All right, didn't even let them score. All right, Alabama, Vanderbilt's going to come in here, think they have a chance. They just have a big offensive line. That's why they can dominate all those little crappy teams. But guess what? Alabama's got the big boys coming. All right. This is going to be a 56-7 type of game. Vanderbilt's going to be lucky if they score 7 points. I'll give them 7 points at the end of the game, but Alabama scored 63 last week, and that was with what's his name? Bryce throwing 2 interceptions in the game. Yeah, Bryce Young threw 2 interceptions in the game. When I get going, I can't think of guys' names. I'm just
going. We're just rattling off, man. Do your thing, man.
Putting up 63 points, and he had 2 interceptions in the game, dude. They're going to put up a ton of points in this game. They're going to dominate. Minus 40.5 is not enough. It was like Ohio State last week, how they haven't scored all year, and then they played Toledo. It looked like a big spread, 30.5, but Ohio State ended up scoring 77 points last week. That's what Alabama's going to do here. They're going to put up a ton of points. They're going to dominate this game. That's your body bag game of.
Oh, dude, I absolutely love it. You know how much I was against Vanderbilt. We got fucked in that game last week.
Oh, yep, exactly.
And now they won that game, coming back, a game they shouldn't even come remotely close to winning. This is the ultimate body bag game, and I cannot wait. I am locking it in as I speak. Live on Tackle the Board, I am putting it in because
I'm looking now. Vanderbilt is averaging 42 points per game, man, and they're getting 40.5.
They're gonna kill them. It's not. They're not gonna be able to score. I'll be shocked if they score 7. I'll be honest with you.
This is bad.
This is absolutely crazy. So
this is how you get fooled on paper. So
yeah, people are going to overthink this a little bit, and it's going to be nonsense. It just
exactly
take the smart side here. It's a body bag game. Enjoy your win, and I'm booking it tonight pretty big. So that's what I'm going to do.
All right, we're going to jump into the last game, guys, and this is Chris's college football game. He's got Oregon at Washington State. He's got the over/under pick here at 57.5. Who you got here, man?
So this line moved up a little bit, but I'm not too worried. I love the over in this game. And honestly, if you're feeling froggy, you want to leave, I love Oregon here as well. Laying 6.5. I don't even care what it's at right now. I think currently it went up to 6.5. This is what's going down here. Washington State has been playing really great. They won their first 3 games. They beat Idaho. They beat Colorado State. Both terrible teams. They won a game at Wisconsin, which looks really good on paper at the end of the day. You know, I like them for their over for the season. They're one of those teams that I like for the over. But at the end of the day, they're one-dimensional. They're a running team. Mertz hasn't been really that great for the most part. So covering their last 2 games, the defense has been playing really well. Washington State has been 3-0 on the under this season, okay? The defense has been going against mediocre offenses, and it shows with the final score. Like, the offenses are really limited. Like, they're just pocket passes that are not good for 3 straight weeks. Now, Bo Nix. Have you seen what Bo Nix has done of late? He's been on absolute fire.
Wait, what's going on? Bo Nix is on fire.
Dude, yeah, hear me out here. So I was shocked to see it too, because you never hear those words out of my mouth for the most part. Bo Nix has been on fire, but he has thrown for 7 touchdowns. He's rushed for like 4. I mean, the guy's been absolutely crushing it. So if you're looking at what he's played of late, so Eastern Washington, obviously not a great team, an FCS team. They won 70-14. But regardless, he still played really well there. But then they played BYU, okay? Mm-hmm. BYU ranked. I know they lost some offensive players, but I don't really care about that. They lost a couple wide receivers for that game. But I'm talking about the defense was all there for them. If you're going to look at what he did that game, I'm going to bring that up right now. So I'm looking at Bo Nix. 13 of 18, 222 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Bo Nix, 9 rushes, 35 yards, 3 touchdowns. He accounted for 5 touchdowns against a ranked team. However you want to look at BYU, whether you think they should be ranked or not, he is starting to figure out this Oregon offense. And especially for a Washington State team that's been an under machine, that's been playing mediocre teams, the points will be scored here. Okay. But I think Washington State will score some points as well. Cameron Ward is the quarterback for Washington State. He's been fantastic. He's thrown for 8 touchdowns to 5 different targets. He's been spreading the ball around real well. Oregon's pass defense is ranked 114th in the entire country, giving up 277 passing yards a game. The passing game will work. Their run offense sucks for Washington, but their pass game should be able to find success, scoring points late. I think Oregon will be able to lay off the brakes a little bit for the most part. The Ducks in the last 2 games have been averaging 55.5 points per game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the FCS school, I get it. Now, it was in full strength on defense, and they still put up 41 points. I think that says a lot. I think he's buying into this right now. This total is the lowest it's been in 4 years, but the only reason why that is because the Cougars have been 3-0 against the under. So you have to look at it that way. They've been an under machine so far. You're actually getting value with an over on Oregon, which never happens. I'm all for it. I'm playing that over. It now it's starting to catch a little steam now, so you better take it now before it gets up to 60. It started at 56. It's up to 57.5. Take that over. Points will be scored. If you want to sprinkle a little Oregon, -6, 6.5, by all means do it. But I love that over because points will be scored.
Nice. Awesome. That's going to do it, guys. So definitely have some plays that we actually really like this week. Definitely feel like we're going to have another good week, make you guys some money. We appreciate all the guys that actually posted in the chat. Love chatting. Love if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask us. Even after the show, we're around, guys, at Chris Ebom, at Vegas Line Reader. Message us, guys. We'll talk about any game, give any advice that we can on any certain kind of game. So again, appreciate you guys. If you're watching, just hit the like button. Even if you guys aren't watching this live, hit the like button, subscribe, guys, to the channel. We're going to be doing this every single Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys can't make it still, you guys can catch this video every single week where we give out our advice. We've been doing this for over 20 years now. We know spots. We know what's going on with the games. We'd be happy to help you guys and tell you about these special situations. So I'll throw it over to you, Chris. You want to close it out?
Yeah, absolutely, Russ. You're right. You can find him at Vegas Line Reader. He's got his plays for his program if you want to tune into that as well. I am on BetStamp. Download the app. I post my plays at that time being. But, hey, you can always hit me up on Twitter, Chris Ebom, like Russ said. Say, hey, what do you like this week? I'll tell you what I like. Doesn't matter to me. You know, I'm putting them out there for the most part. If you have a question about a game, like, hey, I really want to bet this game this week. How are you leaning? And I'll tell you how I'm leaning because the leans have been good for myself and Russ. So either way, guys, we're getting close to 200. Thank you guys for bumping up the subscribers. We want to get this as high as possible. Perfect world, we want to get the 1K, but we know where we're at right now. But eventually we will get there because of you guys and the support you guys bring. So let's get to 200 this week, Russ. You know, let's get the ball rolling. We're bringing out winners. You know, we're beating the books. We're not beating each other. So let's do this. Let's tackle the board. Let's rise and fire. Let's have another profitable week.
Definitely. Let's go.
Let's go.